If you still think Pinterest is just used by window shoppers, you are missing out on a big cash day on Black Friday. In this video, I'm gonna break down the entire strategy that I have been using with my clients over the last years to get consistently really great months with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holiday sales over the last years. We are implementing this baby right now as well with my current clients. And this is the process that I will break down in this video step by step. This is going to be a long one, but I'm going to take you through the whole playbook. And if you're following along with this video, you can be implementing the strategy and you're going to have a really awesome Black Friday this year. So for the ones who are new around here, my name is Magdalena. I've been a Pinterest ads manager for the last 5 years. And I've been primarily working with e-commerce stores and mostly running Pinterest ads because I just love the speed. I just love the data. It just gets me really excited to work with it. Anyway, so enough about me. Let's dive into the first part. The first part to really understand is that people are using Pinterest as a platform for inspiration. And inspiration doesn't necessarily mean window shopping. Inspiration means that people are open to fresh and new ideas for the solution they're looking for or their next shopping session. And this is a really great moment to actually swoop in because people haven't decided on a specific product yet and really haven't decided on a brand yet. So if you are new around the block with a new brand, it doesn't matter because people don't really care. They're not that brand loyal yet when they're looking in Pinterest. So what people are usually doing is either scrolling the home feed or they are using the search bar to use it as like to find a specific solution or find a specific product that they want inspiration on, or they want to shop and get some ideas of what's already around. So that's what you want to keep in mind. People are coming to Pinterest, they're using that search function and they're looking for inspiration. So you want to approach those people who are in this exploration phase. You want to connect with them when they haven't like really decided on making the purchase yet, but they are like kind of in the mood for the shopping, in the mood to solve the problem that they're having. So you want to provide your product in this way. You want to create some, and this is what you also want to keep in mind when you are designing those pins. We're going to dive into pin design in a next part, but this is what I want you to keep in mind in the whole process. You really want to know who your audience is. Go and do some audience research or use my keyword finder tool that's beneath this video. It's going to help you and like discover the biggest pain points of your audience, and it's going to give you the keywords that they are most likely using on Pinterest, and they are like the most likely keywords that's showing high intent for shopping. And this is really great because Pinterest search function gives you the option to really target those people who are using the search bar and who are really ready to purchase a product or find a solution to their problem. So you want to connect with this most low-hanging fruit to get started with your Pinterest ads. Or if your Pinterest ads haven't been working and you want to get them profitable as quickly as possible so you have some cash flow to spend, like put back into your Pinterest ads again. So you also want to know your audience. Either you already know it because you're already running ads on other platforms, so you kind of know what kind of language your customer is using. But if you're not 100% sure, I would really recommend to spend at least a day to figure this out. Go into Reddit, go into Quora, go into the competition, Instagram comments, go into YouTube comments about this product. Look at those exact words that your audience is using. And if you don't have the time to do this, use my keyword tool below because it will spit out, you just have to answer like 5 or 6 questions, and then it will spit out the keywords that are most likely used on Pinterest by your ideal customers that are most likely to convert into a purchase. And it will also spit out some of the biggest pain points they are having, the words they're using around it, and also the reviews that they are, like the common themes in your reviews that are pros and cons. So you can really use that in your advertising. You can just snack the keyword tool below and it's free. So you can just use it and use it for this video so you can follow along. when we're going to be setting up the campaigns. If you don't want to use the keyword tool, totally up to you. Go and find those keyword, those common phrases that your customer is using. Go into the Pinterest search bar and see what suggestions pop up. We're going to do this together. We're on the home feed of my Pinterest account that I basically use for teaching purposes. I clicked home feed here because I think that's easy. And then you do the little search glass. Search glass. That's what it is, right? You can see that English isn't my native language. Anyway, let's do just the holiday. We're just gonna do like maybe a Christmas gift. And you can see here, Christmas gifts for coworkers, baskets for mom to make, Christmas gift tags, ideas for teenage girls. And those are really specifically targeted. And the more specific it gets, the better actually, because you want to be, if you haven't gotten a lot of sales, you really want to be targeting those people first that are really ready to do a purchase. So you're not wasting your money on a very broad keyword that is going to be really crowded in a very short time because everybody is coming to the platform. So maybe for mom, Christmas gifts for mom. So if you're selling, I don't know, I should have thought of this before, right? If you're selling necklaces, this would be, so this is like something that you could use as a keyword. And see, it's not even that crowded because none of those are actually promoted. Anyways, so that will be a very good keyword for your campaigns. So it's for mom. Let's see if it's, oh, my computer is really slow. There you go. Personalized with kids' names, necklace for mothers, necklace. Oh, this is something else. Mother's Day. Well, we're not going to do that. Mom and daughter. So you can see that there's like, you're just going to be picking a couple of keywords that your customers are most likely using. And then you can just really figure out like 10 keywords that are really targeting your customers. And you really think that they are using this keyword and just pop them in the campaign. Gather like 10 of them and just we're going to move on to the next step. Now that we have discussed the keyword portion, we want to go and dive into the pin design. So if you don't really have a good feeling of what pin designs work yet with your audience, it's going to be worth it to dive into one of those keywords and see what kind of pins are already working or are ranking high. And funny enough, like there's barely any ads here. So these are all pins that are ranking organically, which usually means they have gotten a lot of engagement. If you really want to make sure of it, you can use sort pin, but like I don't think you really need it, especially not if you're just testing this out. Anyway, so I'll just pop a link below here. So if you want to use sort pin, I'll create another video on how I use it, but if you want to use it, it's pretty obvious. You can get it with the link below. Sorry, there was some weird sound there. But you can get some inspiration of what's going on here. You can see here, there's the product, like some kind of like, it's not a flat lay, but it's obviously not being like used or worn. It has a little bit of text on it showing what it is. Here's a person wearing it. This is also a flat lay of the product. There's the collection of different options. There's a UG video. So this usually works really well. Even though people like the influencer obviously is paid. I don't know. I'm super aware of it, maybe because I'm running ads for brands, but it's still working really well. And actually, when I talk with like people who are not in the marketing space, they kind of like love seeing those kind of videos because they get a feeling of that they're getting a real review of the product and you can really see what it looks like. So it might be worth it to try this with your product. And you can also just like have like a clean photo where it's being worn, which usually works really well. I would really put your brand on it because even if people save your pin on their board and it gets distributed to, because that's kind of how it works. If someone saves it on their board and someone else follows that person, the pin is going to be shown to their followers as well. So it's going to be free advertising. It's always worth to put your brand, to brand your pin, put a logo on it. So these are the type of pins. Go and see what you think would resonate really with your audience. Test a couple of different ones out. I find that like either UGC content is doing really well, or really, really simple product mockups. If you already have an organic presence, it's going to be really worth it to go into your analytics and go and see what pins are already bringing you the cash or the clicks or the saves, etc. Open up the hamburger menu here. Go to conversion insights if you have the Pinterest tag installed. If you don't, you can just use your Pinterest analytics as well. Okay, my Pinterest tag is not installed for this account. So, but you can see here, top converting pins, sort them by checkout. If you haven't gotten any checkouts yet from Pinterest, just sort them by add to cart or page visits. So you know actually driving action to your audience specifically. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. If you have the option to use the data you already have, go and use it, and just first go with what is already working and double down on this. You can simply go to Canva and use the usual creation that you also use for your Instagram ads or your Facebook ads, but make sure you choose pin design or Photoshop, whatever you prefer using, because you can really keep it super simple of using an image of your product. Make sure that you brand it or use some images that you also use on your website. And you can just really do this yourself, especially if you're starting out with a Pinterest ad. You want to create some simple pins of your product being either used by a person, repurposing that UGC video, or having like a product mock-up, or depending on what you're selling, and just slap your logo on it. Make sure that there's like a congruency between your pin and the product page that people are landing on. And that's why I really love using the logo and using your colors for your logo, or using the same product images on your ads that they will be seeing on the product page, because this really gives a vibe of trust, and they really know they can like spend their money with you, because there's so many scammers online and people are getting a harder time trusting people and purchasing from these social media platforms. And this like simple trick really helps people, convincing them and make sure that they feel like they can spend their money with you. I'm redoing this part, so I hope it's not too windy because it's really stormy outside. Bear with me, but the sound was really wonky. So I wanted to redo this portion of the playbook because I want to make sure that you can really understand what I'm saying. Anyway, so now that we have figured out the pin design, we have figured out our audience and the keywords, it's time to set up our campaigns. So what you're going to do is going to the hamburger menu and click on create campaign. It's at the moment, it's right here all the time. And even all the backends of different people look different because they're rolling out new features all the time. So just search for create campaign. Then we're coming to, this is what it's going to be saying. Make sure you're picking manual, because sometimes it goes to automated campaign automatically and it gives you very limited options. So I would really not recommend setting up automated. Make sure to turn off optimized campaign. So once your Pinterest tag is like a little bit seasoned, then you can turn on performance plus. No, yeah, so because then Pinterest will really know who to target with your product. All right. Okay, so now you can pick either consideration or conversion campaign. If you have an Etsy store, TPT, or something that doesn't allow you to install the Pinterest tag, I would just go with a consideration campaign. Well, it's basically the only option you have. And focus on those outbound clicks. Make sure to check out my on setting up campaigns in the right way for Etsy stores. If you can install the Pinterest tag, I would really recommend you setting it up with a conversion campaign. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but conversion campaigns, even for top of funnel, I have found to be over and over and over again to be the most effective, the cheapest, most efficient. They're getting the lowest CPM, they're going the lowest cost per click, lowest CPA. So I would just go with a conversion campaign all the way. Okay, make sure you're naming your campaign in the way that you prefer. Add the daily budget you can spend, and make sure to check the box under URL tracking. Now we're going to next. Okay, so right now we're going to add the group name. It's basically the ad set. I like to put under one campaign for one product, I like to put a longevity ad set so they can both run at the same time and Pinterest can see, okay, wherever can I spend the most. But if you want to make sure that Pinterest is spending all the money you want to test out on trending keywords, just create your separate campaign and let Pinterest see if it can find your audience. Okay, so this is where you name your group name. I would just name the product or the offer you're promoting and then combine it with either trending or longevity or seasonal. I don't know, however you're targeting this. Okay, demographics at the most likely to purchase. So in my case, for name necklaces, I wouldn't really target men, because even for men, like, they're not gonna search on Pinterest. They're gonna search on Google, I think, for a name necklace. And I think like they wouldn't be a good women are going to search for name necklaces for inspiration. So I would change that gender, but you're gonna have to see for your own audience, your own product, and your own, like, yeah, well, you have done your audience research if you're doing it right. So I can only tell you to do this. All right. Um, then we're picking locations, and I would just not select all. This is from something else. And then I'm targeting US, so I would pick US. Make sure there's no audience list. And then here's the keyword set. You want to make sure your performance plus bidding is turned off, because you want to really target with these campaigns those people who are using this high intent search keywords, keywords for searches, because those are the people who are most likely to purchase. And if you're enabling the performance plus targeting, you're letting Pinterest roam wild with your keywords. And it will also attract those inspirational shoppers, which is fine, but then you might as well just set up a performance plus campaign, which is a very different ball game. But I wouldn't recommend it if you want to set up really quickly profitable Pinterest ads. This is the place where you're going to be adding your keywords. I use my ChatGPT. There we go. I added the link, US, English, and I want to have a first campaign. It's giving me the US based audience snapshot, see what excites them, what frustrates them, what kind of words they're using, etc. And then we're going to the keywords section. I'm focusing now on trending keywords. There you go. Personalized Christmas gifts for her. Yeah, that's very high intent. Custom jewelry, Black Friday deals. That's a good one too. Okay, you can see here, those are really great keywords. And you can just, that those are going to be trending in the next 1 to 2 months in the US. So you want to pop those in and then set up the campaigns and let them run for 2 weeks. So I would just like copy paste the keyword and just pop it in the campaign, and then pop in all the keywords, and then it's going to automatically calculate your audience size. But don't really bother about, like, don't be bothered by the audience size, because this campaign setup is really depending on searches anyway. So it's really 100% depending on whether or not people are actually using the search bar to type in that keyword. So the audience size doesn't really matter that much. This placement tracking, like this placement is fine. You don't have to add any extra tracking URLs unless you're using Hyros or something, which I assume you're not. Well, maybe you are. This is the place to add your Hyros tracking. And then optimizing for either conversions or return on ad spend. I prefer to optimize on conversions, because then it's going to find as many people as possible to purchase my product, rather than searching for those people who have a higher average order value for that product purchase when they're coming from Pinterest. And I prefer to have as many people as possible, because on the back end, I can resell to them. I can order bumps. I can increase, like, there are so many ways to increase the lifetime value of a customer that I prefer to have the increased number of customers. So I, for some reason, have this very odd Pinterest tag installed. I'm not sure what's going on here, but you want to optimize for checkouts if you can. Otherwise, if you cannot and you're setting up a consideration campaign, you want to optimize for outbound clicks. And then I would really turn on performance plus bidding unless you are really familiar with what your cost per acquisition or your cost per click is that you can spend and your like what is realistic on Pinterest. But honestly, like it shouldn't be like you want to target the lowest of the lowest of the lowest, because you want to focus on increasing actually that lifetime value of your customer. Okay, there we go. Select some pins, and then it's going to pop up all the pins that you have created. Again, you can just pick one and upload. There we go. Add this pin. Or you can create a pin as well. You can even create pins that are only shown when you're running ads, so they won't be shown whenever you are actually like not running them as an ad. So then they'll just be private. Okay, so you can see here, this is like, I always pick standard video ad or standard static image ad. You have like a bunch of different things like quiz ads, lead ads. I just find like the basic is the cheapest and the most effective still. Check your destination URL, add some UTM pair. Oh, you don't have to because we already added that. That's new, so I still have to get used to it. And then make sure that you're picking the right call to action and you're done. I would recommend to put at least like 4 or 5 pins in your campaign. And there you go. This is how you set up your campaign. Now now that this campaign is live, which is like, I'm not going to put this live, but we're going to go and create an audience. And what we're going to do is create this audience that is based on the engagement on your Pinterest account. So you want to go for optimized engagements because it's only going to like put people in this audience that are either saving the pin or doing an outbound click. And if you have a very large audience and you're already running a lot of Pinterest ads, then it will be really beneficial to actually not do all published pins, but have the campaign ID or the campaign objective. So it will be all your conversion campaigns, for example, or all the people who interact with a campaign ID, which you can find in your ad reporting. There you go. And this is the ID of your campaign. If you have the Pinterest tag in an audience, you have to create them separately. But also add this one and then just name it, pick your Pinterest tag. It will say here additional filters, and you can click add to cart, checkout. So you can even create separate audiences if you want to retarget those people who did a specific search, a specific checkout, or add it to cart, and you want to retarget those people. I can't because my Pinterest tag is installed weird. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, so that's how you want to create your audiences. I already have a bunch of them. So, but you can see the idea here. Now that we have the campaign set up, we created an audience, we want to set up that retargeting campaign that is based on engagement audiences and your site visitors if you can. But what I usually see is that most of the time, like 80% of the time, the audience that is the people who are engaging with the pins or engaging with the ad campaigns, they have a much lower cost per acquisition and they get a way better ROAS overall, like in general. But of course, like it's not a guarantee, but that's just what I tend to see. All right, so we're gonna set up this retargeting campaign. Again, turn off Performance Plus, make sure you've set it to manual campaign. And if you can, turn it in a conversion campaign. If you can't, just do a consideration campaign, it's all fine. give it a pretty name, click, choose your budget, apply the URL, and then go to your ad set. Give it a pretty name again. I never add a promotion. And now this is really important because we are setting up a retargeting campaign. You want to turn all the demographics to basically everything, all gender, all ages, all languages, all devices, because you're already targeting those people who have already shown interest in your product. So you don't really care whether they fit like your demographic of 100%. Then location. This is where you want to pick, because you want to retarget those people who are actually engaging. So whether they're from Belgium or the US or France, you don't like, it doesn't really matter. You just want to reconnect with those people. And then instead of picking interesting keywords where you want to make sure that the performance plus targeting is turned off, because you don't want Pinterest to target any new people. You want to retarget that audience list that you just created. So you can see here, I'll just pick one, whatever. There we go. And then included, just turn off. This is the same as I explained before, to optimize for conversions, optimize for a checkout, and have performance plus bidding turned on. Upload a bunch of pins that you want to run in this campaign. Feel free to be a little more pushy on the sales with retargeting campaigns. Like you can add that button like shop now. Make sure to have a proper call to action, and basically you're done now. You have set up your top of funnel campaign targeting those people who are really showing high search intent. You are also filling this bucket of this audience that you can retarget, and you're setting up your retargeting campaign. And if you're using my keyword tool that you can snack below this video, it is like you can do this in an hour. You can just follow along with this video and you're going to be done when this video is done. Okay, so just hit publish and you're done for today with your Pinterest ads. Now the hardest part is coming, because you're going to have to leave the campaigns alone for a bit and leave them spending so they can start to find your audience on Pinterest. You're going to see the first couple of days, Pinterest is not even going to spend your money because it's based on searches for your keywords that you put in your campaign when you're setting it up. And even if it is spending, it's most likely not going to give you a sale within a day. Maybe it is, and then you are a very lucky person. But usually it's not, unless you're spending $100 a day. But most people who are starting with Pinterest don't. So give it a couple of days and give it at least 2 weeks of trying to see if the platform really matches your business. I would say if you have the campaigns are running for 5 days and your budget is over $10 a day, for sure you can go into the campaigns and see, okay, is there any ads that are spending way too much money and not bringing any add to carts or not bringing outbound clicks? Sure, replace them for other pins, create some new creatives and start testing what is connecting with your audience. But give it at least 2 weeks, because you are learning a new platform. You're learning how to connect with your audience on a new advertising platform. And obviously, this playbook is the shortcut to success. But still, you're going to have to implement it and you're going to have to do the work. And it's just going to take time. And I know it sucks because I'm learning to run Facebook ads and I want to turn off my campaigns all the time. I don't, because I follow my own advice, but it's really, really hard. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you can implement this and how this will fit into your whole ecosystem of other sales channels, and how you can really use this to amplify your meta ads and see even more results from those other ad platforms as well using Pinterest. But that's for the next video. In the meantime, make sure to implement this playbook. You can grab the keyword finder below this video. It's going to make your life so much easier. So make it easy for yourself. I would recommend, because it's already hard enough to add a new sales channel, especially during the fourth quarter of the year. Okay, hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.